wah. Welcome back to the Come On You Know podcast. I'm your host. I will forever be your host. And that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, today I want to talk about a very sensitive slash prominent slash it's a thing slash issue. I want to talk about heartbreak. So in my age group, we've experienced it. No matter who you are, you have. I have. And I don't know why I keep addressing these serious topics, but I just want to, I guess. Well, maybe I don't. I'm I keep I solicit topics to talk about. I'll be honest, from peers and friends and whomever, and they always give me serious topics. No one says like, yeah, talk about clowns juggling in the latest comedy special on whatever your favorite streaming service is. It's always some sensitive topics like, talk about the social-economic effects of blah, blah. Who? Why? Why? You want to have fun. If you do that, for work, or if you have to keep track for professional reason, or you just do for entertainment. First of all, if you do for entertainment, you're lame. But anyway, heartbreak. Heartbreak is actually a fun topic because it's a very human topic. And here at the Come On You Know podcast, we have a spotty co-host that he's like, where's Waldo? He's here, he's there, I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be here now. He's like, yeah, I got stuff to do. I gotta take the trash out. It's like, okay. But anyway, so like that topic is it's a very human topic. It's something that it has the potential to affect your entire life. It's a memory hold on tour, meaning you don't necessarily forget heartbreaks. You can forget happy times, but you really don't forget hard times. And a heartbreak is a hard time. But anyway, so I want to talk about dealing with it, experiencing it. I know it's not a very humorous topic, but who cares? Why not? Let's dive in. So I'll speak about my experience, speak about what I learned, and how you can deal with it. Because every now and again, I get people telling me that, hey, you're slightly a genius. You should be in some type of record book or you should get some type of award, some type of trophy. Like, I don't need a trophy. Just a smile on your face. That is my reward. Even though your teeth are yellow. But that being said, so heartbreak. So I experienced heartbreak, and I did not know I experienced it. So I was in a relationship that I thought I was in it to win it. Thought I was in it long haul, truck driver status. Going from coast to coast. Large Marge type of deal. Shout out to not shout out to, but R.I.P. Pee Wee Herman. I thought I was in it, and it was long distance. And you know what? She'll never listen to this, so I can talk about it all I want. Yeah, like I was gonna be the one to move, do, just get, go build a life and planning stuff, etc., etc. And I kind of did it. I moved halfway because it was long distance. We continued to talk. It was a weekend type of deal. I'll go there on a weekend and play family. and I was building a ring. It's like, hey, I'm gonna propose to this woman because I thought that's what she wanted. Because she would mention it, she would talk about it, like, hey, marriage, this, that, whatever. Yeah, I could see that. So I'm trying to plant the seeds around everybody around me, a kid, and I was doing the best that I could do, working, doing that, and so I proposed, and maybe a couple of days. So like when I proposed, it was it was fresh and new, hot topic. So she wanted to show it off. Like, yeah, I'm taking. A couple of days later, so I took the day. I proposed on a weekend. I took the Monday off of work so I could stay because I figured, it'd be a happy time. Um, sorry, I'm a human, so I have like, what is this, gas bubbles, and I had some dope, like a shrimp salad. Mm. Anyway, so like a couple of days later, I figured, she would wear the ring to work and show coworkers, blah blah blah. So she didn't wear the ring to work, and this was more or less a showy person. So I'm like, hey, you didn't wear your ring to work. What's going on with that? And she's like, yeah, I didn't want to. Like, I don't think you're the type of person that doesn't want to. Nonetheless, she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what's the N about? Don't N me. Like, what is it? What's it about? She's like, well, I kind of wish the rock was bigger. And I'm like, "Skrrr." All types of records, all types of vehicle, like rubber burns. It was like, "Skrrr." Like, what do you mean the rock? The rock was not small. It wasn't some like Pee Wee Herman. Shout out to, well, RP Pee Wee Herman. But like, I'm like, hey, I took like a diamond class. I learned about the triple C's, color, cut, clarity, all of that. So I got like it's a very quality type of deal. And she told me, she's like, hey, I would have rather like a less clarity diamond that was bigger than a medium size. I'm like, well, this is not a small diamond. It's like, well, it's so you don't respect slash value quality? Question mark. She's like, I'm like, well, you gotta explain the end to me. So anyway, and shortly thereafter, she said, hey, well, I don't, and I will never forget this line because it was a very well stated line. She's like, hey, I don't love you enough to sustain a marriage. And I'm like, that is a very, like, there was some editors involved with that line. That's very good. I respect the English in that line, you know? And so I'm like, okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. It's like, that was strange because, previously in this entire relationship, you were kind of like the cheerleader for marriage. So once it became real, you were like, well, I don't want it to be real. So, people are people. And I understand that. I'm one for adjusting to your situation. So I'm not going to be like, oh, what? Well, 15 months ago you said this. Like, I'm not going to hold you to it. If you change your mind, I get it. We're not that's how it goes. So anyway, that was my heartbreak. It was like bum bum bum. Split. It's like, but I realized something though, and we have to be real. This is the Come On podcast. It's like, come on, like, we can be honest. Don't be afraid to be honest. I don't think. Well, no, I'm not gonna say I don't think. So I wasn't. my marriage wasn't to her. The marriage that I proposed wasn't to her. It was for the situation. And don't like, I see you. I see you. I see you like trying to like, I see you as an audience member or whatever you are, or subscriber or first time listener, or I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I see you trying to like dodge that title or what I'm saying, but that is a thing. That is a thing. And don't try to act like that's not a thing. Like we will be clear. We will be clear, and we will be one hundo. Come on, it is what it is. I was more so in love with the situation. So my heart was broken because the situation to me was broken. My situation was, going back to where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. It was a person that I was familiar with. It's like, okay, roots. I could water some roots. And that's a reference to gardening, one of my hobbies. And we're going to get into I'm going to create a gardening mishaps and unmishaps episode. But I realize it, like, you when you step outside of yourself and you see what's really going on, you know what's going on. You just don't want to address it or just admit it or adhere to what the right thing to do is. I was more so in love with the situation. It's like, hey, I'm slightly young, in love, and I want to build something, and this person is my catalyst, and that's where it is. I want to get back to where I want to go back to. This person's my catalyst. I could do it. I could build it. I could be involved. I could press forward. And that's what it was. So my heartbreak, when she pulled the plug on it, 90% of my heartbreak was because I didn't pull the plug on it. And don't you don't give me the side eye. We all know that's the thing. If the other person pulls the plug, a lot of that is because it's like, I'm not an ego person. I have negative 10 egos. Like, whatever. But it's still a gut punch. It still is a gut punch. And that was a gut punch to me because I was building a situation around this person. And we all do it. Man, woman, all of that. We build situations around people. As much as you can be a realist, idealist, in between, whatever that will be. Real idealist, I don't know. But we all have a picture that we paint that the other person doesn't know about. And we are hesitant to admit what that picture is. Sometimes we do. Sometimes, there's people that are, blah, blah, I want this, blah, 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 and you give it to them and their eyes are bigger than their stomach. That's another story. But we all have a picture. No one is walking out here blindly like, I don't know what's going on. Whatever happens, happens. People may say that, but they want certain things to happen. Right? But once I experienced that, when she pulled the plug, a lot of that was because I didn't pull the plug. It's like, yeah. So she took an eraser on my canvas, erase, 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 right side, right side, right side, right side, left side, left side, left side, erased mad. I'm over here, combining oils, slapping. I don't know, what do you call art paint? Or like, I don't know, like mad greens, green number 7. I'm tossing green number 7 on there. She's erasing it. But that was a big deal. And especially because I was assumably all in. I was assumably all in the picture that I was painting. So, this is what happened. I never dealt with heartbreak prior to that. I was always young. My relationships prior to that, I didn't have many. It was like high school. Then after, then a little older, it was like, it was in college. The girl tried to hit me with a car, so it was like dodging cars. But I was never. That was my first thinking seriously, want to propose, building a ring, taking a diamond class. This is what I'm going to do. This is what life's going to be like. Houses, all that stuff. Um, but so it affected, and I didn't know. And this is why I wanted to talk. I'm taking the long road to talk about this, but this is the it's like this is the significant part, how it affects you. It affects you. It affects it's an heart issue, but it affects your brain. Our brains are it's our it, that's the cockpit, right? The heart can be the gas, if you will. I'm not a physician, but I'm smart. I did not realize how it would affect me emotionally. I don't mean and one that's this is another when I say emotional, that's another episode. To me, emotional just means upset. Someone says, "Hey, this person is emotional," that just means they express being upset. But like I couldn't listen to certain music. Like I never experienced that before. And I'm quite a regular dude, like, dirt, whatever, uppercuts, guns, video games, ranch dressing, all of that, boots. But I'm like, why can't I listen to this song? I can't listen to a song. I'm thinking about what I could have had, and it affected me. And it was a very real experience. It wasn't something that happened just when I went to sleep or woke up, or, if the weather was too crazy. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was with her. Like, no, this was like an everyday thing. And I was like, man, like I couldn't even talk to certain people because it's like your first name has the first letter of her first name. It was really like that. So like that is a thing. That is when I realized it was a thing. And you know how I dealt with it? I didn't. I didn't. I let it overtake me. And I mean, I wasn't paralyzed. I'm a very responsible person. So I did what I had to do. But I wasn't suited for managing it. If that sounds, if that, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean, like, come on, like, how do you manage that? How do you manage that if you never manage that? Like, experience is a thing. Like, people that experience heartbreak all the time, they build up a heartbreak type of character. And that's what I noticed. Like, I wasn't a heartbreak type of character. I was a never experienced heartbreak type of person because I was never in that, uh, like, I experienced breakups, but not heartbreak. That is a whole new realm. That's like level 10. That's like fighting the boss in the video game. It's like, oh, well, dude, you just threw like mad. I don't, where, where, where did that hook come from? Like, boom, boom, boom. But there's that. So I couldn't listen to certain songs. I couldn't talk to certain people. I couldn't play it out in my mind because you can never you can play things out in your mind, but it doesn't you don't know what the other person is gonna you don't know the moves they're gonna make. You can't you can anticipate what they're gonna do, but people are people. You may assume they're gonna go right because everything says they're gonna go right, but they go left. But anyway, dealing with heartbreak, I'm wiser now, and I'm straight 100% wiser now. This is this is how I think you should deal with heartbreak. First of all, at this age, and I'm talking to folks my age, the Gen Xers, the greatest generation. I'm renaming us. I'm renaming us. Um, we see it coming. We see it coming, and we, for the most part, we tend to be more protective. I like talking to people my age and older. We're a little bit more protective. We know the possibilities, of successful relationships that don't lead into heartbreak, or just whatever, not so serious relationships that don't lead to irritation. That could be like, kind of a comparable, uh, or comparably, comparably synonymous. You know what I'm talking about. So like, we tend to like, what I notice is a lot of people try to be mean to combat meanness, and that's not a thing. You shouldn't do that. Like, you don't be mean to me to make me thinking you're gonna make me, like you. But anyway, so like, we do that to try to not be a quote unquote victim of heartbreak. Heartbreak is not bad. It's not bad, because you know what it means? It means you have a heart. It really means you have a heart. Like, I learned that. I'm like, at that point, I did not know. When I experienced what I experienced, I did not know I had the ability to feel that way. I didn't know. And it's not about control. It's not like, oh, this woman had control over me. It's learning yourself. It's learning how you react to adverse situations. It's no different than, being in a car accident, being in a, war, being in a, you experience a sudden loss, extraordinary loss. Um, something that happens to you that you don't expect, that is, a significant emotional event. Well, that is heartbreak, but all we have are other people. So heartbreak is almost the most, I think it's more or less like the most humanizing event. I don't know. I guess I'm making up words. Don't care, but it's a thing. It's like, how do you, if how do you not experience heartbreak? That's what I'm leaning towards. Because if you don't experience heartbreak, you don't value heart. You don't value people. So this is how you deal with it. You don't. You go through it. You recognize it. You understand yourself. You understand your situation. You understand the other. Why are these I'm why is everything so serious? I'm trying not to be serious, trying to be unserious, like the opposite of serious, like mad, not serious. But that's the thing. But my advice is like, hey, meet somebody, talk to them, love them, get your heart broken, understand that situation, understand that person, understand that person's views, understand your views, understand what didn't fit, you know, respect it. Not the heartbreak, not if somebody did something crazy to you, like try to hit you with a car like I experienced, but understand that they, may have felt a certain way about being with you, and you felt a certain way, and maybe it didn't, jive up or link up or sync up and all of that. But Like once you respect it, it's like, okay, okay. It's not about you. It's not about them. It's not about the situation. It's about all three. Once you could step out of that, yeah, it's like, okay. Okay, like it's I don't want to say it's less painful because it shouldn't be less painful because if it becomes less painful to you, you're a psychopath. I don't care if you're a new listener or old listener. I'm telling you that. If it's less painful or if it doesn't feel, you know, if it doesn't feel like anything, if it feels like the unflavored jello, then you're a psychopath. And I'm charging you with that. But just respect it. Respect it and understand where it's coming from. We're all people. Once you realize that people are people, like heartbreak is not so hard to deal with because that's all we have. All we have is heartbreak, people, air, and traffic. That's all I got. I'm out.